people are getting some wisdom nuggets from my guest today. I'm going to get ready to do my part, and then we're going to do a Q&A and wrap this up. I'm just so blessed to have you guys for coming on with me and celebrating during this healing summit, but also the first podcast anniversary for me. I struggled trying to figure out how to celebrate a moment of a year ago where I was in one of my hardest places. And that's why I became a butterfly, because I feel like when you're a bruised caterpillar, you got to come through some stages. And I had so many people come on and speak life into me while I was speaking life into myself. And they shared this space with me as being listeners or being a podcast guest. And I'm just so grateful. So I'm going to give you guys, I thought about what I wanted to say, because as Kat said, LaTorsha will push you out there and be like, you need to do something. So celebrating my wins was so hard for me, because for the people who don't know me, because people have joined since I started the live, I am Janine. I'm the host of Intentional Queen Podcast, Journey to Restoration with Janine. I started that a year ago. And it's for empowering all women to become the best versions of themselves while on their self-love, self-healing, and growth mindset journey. I had some things happening for me over the course of my life that I felt like God said, Janine, you need to find an outlet and speak it out, but also heal yourself. And as my guests have already said, they've touched on a lot of the things that I personally believe. One of the things is I say a lot, you're a giraffe out there in those streets, and that comes from a book called Instinct, where it talks about perspective, where a giraffe's neck is high. And when your neck is high and you have vision and you see where you're going, you see I got my butterflies and everything on my bracelets. I'm just a believer in when you are doing your perspective and you have vision and you see forth, you walk it out, you trust the process, you trust the metamorphosis. And I started meeting women and men, but meeting women going through their journey of becoming a butterfly. And I felt like I had to give back to them and help them come through and give them a compass, because sometimes, as Terry already spoke, sometimes people don't know how to love you because you don't know how to let that in. That's when I call building walls and not gates. You need to be able to allow people to come into your life too, and not just shut everybody out because of all the bad things that have happened. And sometimes it's a growth plate, and a lot of people don't want to take accountability for their actions. So sometimes God deal with you, and that's what I call the crushing, where God turns you into a Power Ranger. That's what I call it. And you find your growth plate and you come through. And as I said, you a caterpillar, then you cocoon, and you doing your work, because LaTorsha said you got to do the work, okay? And so the cat, you got to heal it up. And then you come bust out of the cocoon, and then you flying free. But a lot of people don't want to do the work. And that's when I'm talking about foundation, because when you stand on that foundation is what's going to keep you going. Because if there is a crack in the foundation, your house will crumble. You need to understand about your queen tribe, because there are roots, there are branches, and there are leaves, okay? And you need to understand in your fall and winter months, it's them roots that keep you alive. My mom is actually watching, and I'm shouting my mom out, because my mom is not a very emotional woman, but she called me today and she let me know how she felt. And for my mom to come through and tell me that she could see me come through these stages, and I told her, I'm blooming where I am, BLOOM. What that means is you might be in a phase, but you want to embrace it where you are, because next thing you know, you out here flying free. And so I'm a believer that I'm going to speak to the one, and you're going to build, and they're going to come. God don't give you more than what you can handle, because a lot of times when I start sharing my story along life with people, they like, ooh. And I'm like, listen, I don't get upset. I'm not mad about anything that has happened to me, because God has set me forth. That's what I'm talking about. Giraffe vision. God see over the hill and around the corner. So you need to understand that this is very important. So that's why I called it a healing summit, and I didn't call it more of a celebration, because I wanted people to understand that you need to do the work. So I'm going to give you my top 10 things. Then we're going to go ahead, have Q&A, and get y'all on out of here. So what I felt like I learned this year was this. You got to pivot. I told people on my podcast, one word you need to come up with that's going to call you for the year. And I felt like I started it in October, but then when I hit about January, I came up with my word, and it was pivot. And I pivot towards peace. And once I started creating healthy boundaries and letting go of my triggers, I got better. Okay. And I'm going to shout out my little cousin, because she's watching this too. What she said is, sometimes people go to your old address looking for you, but you don't live there no more. And so they went looking. I don't live there no more. okay? Because they will push you, okay? And then I learned building they will come, because what I'm saying is it's like Noah's Ark. You see it, you have vision, you have foresight, you know what you're trying to do. Build on it, slowly build on it, and it will come through. I learned you have to be authentically you. I got, like I said, LaTorsha got me last week about accountability of, you have this podcast anniversary. Why aren't you talking about it? Sometimes when you walk around and you've been around a lot of jealousy and envy, you don't know how to celebrate your wins because you don't know how people are going to perceive you. So when you being your authentic self and you change the lens of yourself, then you can be authentically you and fly free. Vulnerability, talking about feelings. I don't do feelings, but I become more stronger by showing people that vulnerability is okay, because I gained more by showing up more. Confidence. It's not something you come out the gate with. You start with courage and then you become confident at it. This is my first live. So, I was a little nervous, but we out here and we in the glow up, and I'm going to embrace where I am. I talk about trust the process. It starts within your mind. That's why I talk about growth mindset, okay? And trust in the process. And it's about speaking affirmations, as Terry said, but it's also about the positive seeds that you sow into yourself and you tell yourself, because next thing you know, you caterpilling yourself up the hill. Loving yourself. We talked about that more than anything, and know your worth. Like Moana, if you guys got kids and you watch Disney, Moana, they talk about that when Moana speaks into the lava woman and puts her heart back and helps her to heal and become the best version of herself. And then I've had guests on there, Benia Swain and a few others, and they talk about heal the little girl. And so did Kat. Kat talked about you got to go back and do the healing because she's had some things happen to her. And so you got to make sure you can knock off the offenses, because sometimes we get offended by things that's not meant for us. And if people don't want to salute you, or it was not, like me and LaTorsha talked on her podcast, sometimes we get offended. Dust it off, keep it moving, because maybe you're not the person to sow into that person, but you try your best and then you move forward. And then the last thing, which is my tagline for my business: level up your intentional queen to a better you. I want you to be the best version of yourself. Love yourself, because I'm out here celebrating. I'm so happy. So when I go back and listen to my first episode, that was heartbreaking to listen to. I was Bruce Caterpillar. I listen to myself now. I said, girl, I see you. And all you should be doing when you're looking back is glance back, because you need to understand that your rearview mirror is small for a reason, to glance back. You can't go back. You can't change the past, but you can do better. And so when you leveling up your intentional queen to be a better you, you're doing your thing. So that's pretty much all I have to say. And then I'm getting ready to go ahead and put my guests on here. And if y'all have questions, put it in the comments, but I'm going to put us all up here so you guys can see us. And then, ladies, I'm going to have your mics on. And if there's any questions, pop them in the chat. But I'm going to put up some of the comments that have happened so we can see. Thank you, Sheena. Oh, thank you, Kamisha. I know I see them tears, girl. Yes. And we're going to pivot towards peace. Tia, thank you. Sow them positive seeds. And Terry, yes, love that rear view mirror. I see you right there. So guys, I am so blessed. I am just looking here to see if there's any more questions or comments. But remember, iron sharpens iron. So I believe you have to be around people that's going to push you. Okay, because sometimes you get a little nervous, you get a little stagnant, and you need to be in a space of people who's going to make you accountable for what you're doing out there. Okay. And that's pretty much it. I want to thank you. As I said, we all have different social media platforms, so make sure to go follow us and reach out to us. We all have, I think, newsletters. So feel free to definitely go out there and support us. And if there's anybody else that you know that could benefit from our messages, make sure to share with friends. And I just want you guys to have a blessed day. We ended up ending a little bit early, but that's all I got for you guys. Is there any other comments or anything?
Hey, Janine, I have one thing that while everybody was talking that I just felt like was on my heart that I needed to say. So if I can have like 1 minute, if that's all right. Thank you. So one of the things that I think everybody can realize that we have been some broken women, like, in the sense of just the things we've been through, and you've probably been broken yourself too. And one of the things that really changed my life, and I talked about on a podcast episode, is that so many times we keep going back to those broken pieces and what happened to us. We have to, well, at least for me, I had to get to a point where I realized what happened, and I'm never going to be able to glue those pieces back together and make them brand new again. And what I had to do was let the broken pieces fall off. You've got to let them fall off. And once you release that load of all that brokenness, then you can get up and you can move. And like Janine talked about, you can fly into, being a butterfly, you can grow. And I just felt like I had to say that. Maybe it's a word for somebody, but those broken pieces that you keep carrying around and you're like, I'm broken. This event broke me. It may have broken you, but God never meant for you to carry around broken pieces. Okay. Let those things fall off and just really love yourself. And it may take you a few times just going through those things. And you may even, for me, one of the things that helped me, I wrote a letter to myself during those broken times, looking back, and wrote everything out that I wanted to say to her as a means. And then I always ended it, girl, you're going to be okay. And I know you're okay because I'm here in the future, standing here. So I don't need to spend time trying to heal you because I can't go back and heal you. I can only heal where I am today and move forward. So I've got to leave you here now, but you're going to be all right. And so I don't know why. I just feel like there's a word. Somebody needs to know that you are going to be okay. You are here today. Kat, you are here today. Terry, Janine, you here today. You survived what happened to you. Those broken pieces, when you're ready, let them go. All right, that's it. That's my word.
Anybody else have anything? But we're going to shout out these last few comments trickling in. Miss LaRonda said, broken crayons still color. That is right. They still color, okay? That's 2 snaps. I'm going to have to use that. That's a good one. And then we got some, saluting us on, ladies, that people heard what we were talking about today. Do my guests have anything else before we do the closing?
All right, perfect. So what I wanted to add, and I think it's such an important part of self-love, is that your feelings are valid, but your feelings are not fact. And I have to remind myself of that a lot. You could feel like you are a horrible person. You could feel like you made a mistake today and you're such a bad mom. You could feel like you're just mean to your husband all the time. And you could feel like you're not worthy of, whatever exceptional thing that's coming into your life. And those feelings are valid. That's it. Nobody can dismiss those feelings because that is how you feel. And your feelings are worthy also. But remember that your feelings are not fact at all. You could feel like you're a horrible person, but there's probably a whole sea of people in your life who are willing to say otherwise. You could feel like you're a bad mom. And guess what? I guarantee your child will probably still say, I love you, mommy. You could feel like you are a horrible employee, but you still got your job today. You could feel bad about yourself. You are allowed to feel bad about yourself in that moment. Because, when you talk about self-love, there is a lot of toxic positivity, and it all ends up being about, pushing those feelings to the side. You're not allowed to feel good about yourself or feel bad. Look, part of loving yourself is allowing you to feel the feelings that you need to feel and know that it really does not have any effect on your worth or your value. You can lean into those feelings and lean into those feelings for that moment, and then know, okay, it's over now. I'm good. It does not affect who you are as a person. So take that with you, that your feelings are valid, but your feelings are not facts.
Okay, Miss Kat, we're going to see what you want. But before you go, Miss Kat, I want to put some more comments up. Miss LaRonda said, yes. Sheena said, it's an absolute beautiful expression of love on this today, and that feelings are not facts. Come on now. That was a good one right there, Terry. So now I'm going to let you talk. Miss Kat, go ahead.
Look now. You already got me on here one time. But I am just grateful and thankful to be a part of this community today. LaTorsha, Janine, Terry, when you talked about those affirmations, even the negative affirmations that we say, and we don't realize that we're saying those things, I said, oh yeah, I need to do better with that. But I'm just grateful to be here. I'm grateful to you for having pushed me to get my act together and come come and be a part of your event today. So I'm just grateful to you. I'm grateful for the messages that you ladies have shared today. You have truly blessed me. I feel I'm better for this time that we've spent together. So thank you.
All right. Well, guys, listen, I'm trying to hold back tears. I'm still trying to be cute with this makeup, but y'all bless my soul today. And I'm forever grateful. I'm grateful for the viewers who are watching. I'm grateful for y'all. And I'm grateful for the viewers that's going to watch this in the future, because I feel like the messages brought today will go further than what it did this actual day, because we definitely are empowering women to do better in all those spaces. As I said, I'll do my closing. We all have social media. Make sure to follow us and check us out. If you want to know more, all of the ladies' contact are on my Instagram at Intentional Queen Journey. You can definitely check me out every other Thursday for the podcast, Intentional Queen Podcast. We made a year, y'all. We made a year. And thank you, guys. And we're going to get ready to end the live, and have a blessed day.